Hi there. Welcome to your favorite review channel, An Ordinary Review with PJ. In today's episode, I'm going to review a quirky comedy that has just come on Netflix. It's a movie called Darlings. It's an Alia Bhatt production along with Shah Rukh Khan's Red Chillies Entertainment, and it stars Alia Bhatt, Shefali Shah, Vijay Verma and Roshan in main roles. It's an offbeat movie. I must give credit to Alia Bhatt for venturing into production with an offbeat subject, but it's nicely done. The movie is engaging, performances are top notch. What's the movie about? Well, Alia Bhatt and Vijay Verma are married to each other. It's a love marriage. They live, in a lower middle class housing. Alia Bhatt's mother Shefali Shah also lives close to them in the same housing building that they're living in. And things are not so good between Alia Bhatt and Vijay Verma, where Vijay Verma is shown as an alcoholic. He works as a ticket collector in the railways, and he tends to take out his frustration on Alia Bhatt by abusing her. So there's domestic violence in the movie. He drinks, he comes back home, and on any pretext he ends up beating her. But then in the morning he's a completely different person. He's this ever charming lover boy who actually won her over before marriage, and then he tries to charm her way into an Alia Bhatt melts with his love in spite of all that happened in the previous night, and strongly believes that someday he will change. In fact, she believes that if they have a baby, that will bring about the change in Vijay Verma, and she's convinced it will happen. Shefali Shah, who plays Alia Bhatt's mother, actually doesn't think so, because what has transpired in her life has made her strongly believe that men cannot change, and she insists Alia Bhatt to leave him, or in a nice funny way, even to kill him. And she comes out with these wild theories and wild schemes as to how they can kill him and get away with it, which brings a little bit of quirky comedy. Now, obviously, this domestic violence goes too far, and Alia Bhatt ends up turning the tables on Vijay Verma, and that forms the second half of the movie, which is where more elements of the quirky comedy that I'm talking about comes in. It creates interesting scenarios as to how they deal with Vijay Verma, and the plans that they make in order to basically possibly even kill him. So it's a movie about a serious subject, but done in a nice offbeat way. It doesn't make it too heavy, and there are some nice funny moments that'll keep you engaged. Performances wise, all of them have done a stellar job. Alia Bhatt obviously plays a central role. She is this woman who's in love with Vijay Verma. At the same time, she faces his wrath, but continues to believe that he can change. And she has a little bit of that noble quality in her, that come what may, she'll try and see a changed Vijay Verma. And she falls into situations where eventually gets emotionally blackmailed by him whenever Vijay Verma gets into trouble, and then continues to forgive him. Vijay Verma plays this slimy guy, almost like a schizophrenic personality. In the night, he's a different guy after he has drunk alcohol. In the morning, he's a completely charming lover boy kind of a role, and he has done a beautiful job. How he actually slips from a disdainful husband into a lover boy in the morning who's trying to win over Alia Bhatt in spite of all that he did to her in the night, makes him a very, very a good performance by him, enjoyable to watch. Roshan is this cute guy who wants to help Shefali Shah and Alia Bhatt. He has a soft corner for them, and there's an interesting angle between him and Shefali Shah, which comes later in the movie, which makes it quite an interesting twist to the tale, and a funny one too. The way it's actually brought out. But the powerhouse performance in this movie is Shefali Shah. As a feisty mother who will do everything that's possible to make sure that Alia Bhatt doesn't get harmed, and how she tries to convince her to get away from the marriage. And in a way also it relates to her own past of what she dealt with her husband, and I think that kind of makes her a very feisty woman. The interesting thing is the performance, why it makes it this thing. There are quite a few funny scenes that she does, but in a very subtle way. But the best part is how she and Alia Bhatt communicate through their eyes, through their facial expressions. There are these schemes that they're trying to work it out, and they're just talking to each other only through their eyes and their facial expressions. And that is really nice, funny to see. It'll make you chuckle. And she's fabulous. Shefali Shah is, every time she's on the screen, you will be totally entertained by her performance. So overall, I would say it's a very good movie. It's an offbeat movie, but very interesting. And there are obviously the serious issue of domestic violence is nicely done. It's not overdone. It doesn't bore you or it doesn't become too heavy at the same time. There is a nice light comedy element to it as well. So I would say it's a good catch. You should definitely check it out. Darlings on Netflix. Thank you for watching my reviews and sharing your feedback. If you're not able to see my reviews on YouTube, you can always listen in as a podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcast. If you listen as a podcast, please do make sure to give a 5-star rating and a review so others can find it. I will keep bringing interesting reviews to all of you. Till next time, bye-bye.